In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. I was asked to tell a short story of how I became a Muslim. And don't wonder, it was a cat which opened for me the door to do the first steps and become a Muslim. In maybe 1959, I studied painting at the Düsseldorf Art Academy, and there was a guy from South America who told me about Subud. And I was asking him, what is it? And he told me that in Indonesia there was a Muslim, Muhammad Subuh, who doing the Islamic prayers was somehow made up, was made to stand up, and he started to make movements, sounds, whatever, which were absolutely not controlled by the mind or by the will. And for him this was something very surprising, and he wondered what would it be. So this experience came back for 3 years, from time to time. And then he was able to share this experience with other people in Indonesia. And it came about that he made a journey to Europe, firstly in England, and shared this with European people. To make it short, I only speak of my own experience. What was it? I went into a room with 4 or 5 men. There is no ritual. They said close your eyes so you don't be don't be worried what others do. And then they said 3 sentences: have trust in God, don't be afraid, and whatever comes up in you, follow it. Let it flow and follow it. This is what I did, and I was happy really to feel and the beginning of this experience. And when half an hour was over, I felt an inner peace which I didn't know before, and a joy. And I remembered the words of Jesus Christ when he was on the mount where he was glorified, and St. Peter and St. John said, let us build a hut here because it's so nice here. So this I did 5, 6 times, and I was Catholic. I have 2 brothers who are Catholic priests, and I was suspicious. And so I said, I went with the class, I'm a teacher, into the mountains, and I said, what shall I do? I am alone there. I cannot do Latihan. No, they said, there's no problem. Close the door, raise the alarm clock, and say begin. So when the children slept, I did this, and it was exactly the same as it was with the other men. So I had confidence and went on, and this I did for about 40 years. And it all is unexpected and always is not the same. It is in accordance with my deep inner self, my space where I am, and in what state I am. And then I had a time of a blockade. I'm an artist, a puppeteer and a painter, as I told, and I feel real blockade. And I said to myself, when I'm serious, the same mistake which I had from childhood on, which I could remember, they did not disappear. And I got sad. I really got sad, but I continued to do the Latihan. And then I had a strange experience. It was, I call it a crisis, when the Haut becomes thinner. I was in a state of sadness and a bit of desperation. And then something happened to me. We had a neighbor, a lady, Irene Lilienfein, who was a psychologist for children, wonderful woman. And she had 2 Persian cats. And she got to know a man and wanted to live with him together, and this man also had a Persian cat. So she asked our family to take over this cat. We did. It was a wonderful cat, Phipps, like a tiger, big and huge cat, wonderful. He became very old and then died. And this lady came again and told us that she had cancer and that she had to go to hospital, recreation, and the doctor had said to her, you will have another half year, no more. And she asked us to take over the cat. This cat was a Persian cat with a blue-gray fur. We took the cat, but she disappeared immediately. She won't meet with us. She didn't touch any food. We had the same food in a white bowl. She didn't touch anything, no drink, for 5 days. Drink, I'm not sure, but she didn't eat at all. And we were worried. And then we went to sleep, my wife and me. And I had a dream in the beginning of the day. And I saw under me the cat jumping, this gray-blue cat jumping to the kitchen. And I followed her in the dream. And I found the bowl completely empty, shining white. Yeah. So I knew she had eaten. And in bed, I told this to my wife, stood up, got into the kitchen, and it was like it was exactly in the dream. So for me, this was a hint, a sign that something strange, a strange between real and dream, yeah, that this dream had something to do with reality. And in the following night I had a dream. I was in a cube, like high like room, a normal room, gray, maybe from iron. In front of me was, like we have to protect from fire, a gray iron door, and this was filled up to the height with water. And I was swimming in this water, and when I was short before this door, I realized I cannot open this door. And I woke up really in horror. But it was Sunday, and on Sunday, 10:30, we do this latihan, this training of what I spoke at the beginning. And excuse me, I have to go a bit back. I was in a group where we did the latihan. We said the most important thing is to get to know other cultures. And cultures is also religion. So we dealt very carefully and very directly with Islam. So we said not only theoretically, but we did the prayer, we did Ramadan, we read the Quran, and after this then people went away or so. But I myself, I like this very much. Because in the Ramadan, I'm an artist, I could be very creative, and I had time because I didn't eat and sleep so much. So I followed this 40 years, and also reading the Quran from time to time, but I never had the thought to become a Muslim. I never had the thought to become a Muslim. But when I went into the latihan at this Sunday morning, I suddenly shouted very loud and very clearly, Allah sag mir, Allah tell me, 3 times. And then I was pushed on the ground with my forehead on the carpet. And when I was in this, in the prostration of the Islamic prayer, I knew precisely, directly and absolutely clear, I become a Muslim. So when the latihan ended, I had beside me was a brother from Indonesia who was a German architect who was there for 30 years, and he was Muslim. I asked him, Ramsi, when I become Muslim, I had about 69 years then, have I to be circumcised? He very seriously said, yes. So the following day I went to the mosque, and there the head of the Islamic Cultural Center was a doctor, quite old, for children. And I said, like with Jacob, who is opposite me, and I told him, and tears were running down this old man, and also myself, after some while, I also could no more stand there, and I wept also. And then I thought I have to wait maybe 3 months or whatever it is. So they said, on Friday you come, 2 days later, and then you will become a Muslim. And Ramsi would be my Rasul, my, how do you say, my pater. So we did. And yeah, this is the story. And I must say, it has other, and then I realized, and I went on and I go on to do this, what is called latihan, training, because for me this is a very individual, absolutely individual bond between me and Almighty God. But I follow now this Islam for 5 years. It is a wonderful religion, and I really studied it. I know about a wonderful religion, pure, simple, and really a religion for me of joy. When I pray, it's joy and it's feeling like paradise. Often it's not easy, late at the night, it's not so easy, but still it is for me my religion. It is my religion. This is absolutely clear. I have 2 Catholic brothers who are priests, I told you. I told them and I said, we know you, you are a serious person, and we accept this fully. And they did. Yeah. So, and I must say also that from this time when I was a real, not real, but at the beginning to be a Muslim, I am slowly able to correct my mistakes, my weaknesses, which for me is an enormous help. And with the help of Allah, we will go on. Thank you very much.